Hey listeners, just to clarify, this episode is going up over a week late because a certain someone went to Canada and forgot to upload their audio, so the editor of this show, me, had to sort of sit on her ass for a week. But then also other stuff happened, and then I didn't get round to editing it till now, so... But by the time you hear this, we'll be doing our next show this coming Monday. So, not a whole lot of time to get in your thoughts, but do it anyway. Welcome to Nerd on Nerd with me, Ellie Kempster.
And me, Liam Underwood. And in this episode, we're talking about the Cloverfield paradox.
Ooh!
That's exciting. We'll do that later on for Culture Swap. Before that, we have Catching Up with Ellie and Liam. So, what have you been up to?
Nothing. So, listeners, we're recording this a week earlier than we normally would because a certain someone's having a birthday trip to Canada. So the whole schedule has been ruined. We've only had a week, and it turns out in a week I do even less than I do in 2 weeks, which is usually nothing.
That's not really a surprise then, is it?
No, I mean, yeah, it was a bad sign.
Yeah. So, you had 2 days off work, so you've had a 4-day weekend. So I struggle to believe that you haven't done anything with
I had
that
2
time.
days off work after I worked 36 hours in a row, mate. I spent those days sleeping.
And then it was the weekend.
Yeah, and then I slept a lot. My schedule has been ruined by those 36 hours.
Fair enough. I was busy.
What have you been doing?
Well, it was Mother's Day, wasn't it? So I, celebrated
Fuck,
that.
it was also my dad's birthday, so I've got stuff I did.
Yeah, so why aren't you talking about it?
Well, no, we didn't do anything for my dad's birthday. He went to a football match.
How old did he turn, or are you not allowed to say?
59?
Happy birthday.
There you go. I can't answer for him, Liam.
Yeah, but you could be like, yeah, he had a good time. What did you get him?
I got him a jacket that he wanted.
Cool. And, yeah, Mother's Day, how did you spend that?
We went to a pub for, a pub lunch thing.
Yeah.
With another family and my grandparents as well.
That sounds fun.
Pretty good. What did you do, Liam?
I made my mum come visit me.
Of course, because that's what you do on Mother's Day. You make your mum travel.
Yeah, and then I took her out to a lovely Thai place for lunch.
Cool.
So she liked it, she had a good time. I gave her a card. Oh, and what I also did is I ordered flowers to arrive at hers on the Saturday as a nice little surprise. So
it's really surprising because that wasn't Mother's Day, so...
Exactly, but I didn't want to give her flowers and then she'd have to drive all the way back with them.
Oh my god, we fucked up.
How?
Because obviously... Oh my god, listeners, I'm so sorry. I think people have been waiting a whole year for what was meant to come out this week. And we didn't fucking do it.
I know, I was aware of that, but I thought it was a conscious decision not to do that.
No, I definitely wanted to do it. Listeners, I'm putting it on the list. It's going on the list. We should have done 50 Shades fucking Darker.
Well, I was thinking maybe we'd give it a 2-year gap between each one. Because, honestly, I don't know if I'm ready to watch the next one yet.
I so am. I've heard it only gets worse from here.
So next year...
Nope.
What do you mean?
American Mother's Day.
When's that?
No idea, mate.
Might have already happened.
Did you do anything else?
What, since we last spoke?
Well, just in general, just in life. How's... You know what, Liam?
Yeah.
When we do catching up with, we always focus on what we've done. And, I think we should, seeing as we've got nothing, let's just talk. Hey, buddy, let's just chat.
What about?
I don't know. How are things going with you?
Yeah, they're going.
Same.
That's the thing. I think that's why we don't really talk about how it's going, because it's just going, isn't it?
It is just going. That's true.
And that's probably for both of us the best we can really hope for.
Yeah, I think so.
So
that's deep insights with Ellie and Liam.
Yeah, we can dig deeper if you want. We can talk about how you're finding dating. How's that going?
Same old. How was wiping your ass?
It's a daily challenge.
You managed to get down from a roll?
Sometimes.
Right, good for you.
I think it depends on what I've eaten.
I mean, it shouldn't. You're definitely doing it wrong, but we can't do this. Not at 30.
No.
It was okay when you were just late 20s, but I can't be teaching a 30-year-old how to wipe his ass.
That's fair enough. I've been eating a lot of Weetabix though.
Fibre.
Well, I'm trying to get into the habit of having breakfast.
Yeah, breakfast is good.
But
I don't know. I forget to do it at home, and then I get to work, and then I'm like, oh, there's only unhealthy options.
Yeah, so that's kind of I have to force myself to have breakfast because I don't wake up hungry.
Yeah.
But I've got into a bit of a routine now where like on most days I have a like 10 a.m. meeting with work that I don't really have to do a lot of talking for. So okay. I kind of make my breakfast so I can eat that while I'm on the meeting. So I've got like a little routine sorted.
Is it a video meeting?
Nah.
Oh, okay, that's all right then. I was going to say you definitely shouldn't be eating in a like a team meeting.
You say that, right? But I've been on video meetings before where there's this little old lady. I don't think she's with us anymore. Like, she's not dead. She's just
right.
Not with the team.
Don't say a little old lady that's not with us anymore if she's not dead, Liam.
She's not with the team. Okay. But she used to like sit on these video meetings and do like weights, like little tiny like barbell weights, and she'd be sticking them up above her head, and it was really distracting.
The world is weird, right? Because there's like this weird acceptance. It's not weird, it's probably a good thing that people are like this, but where like, you know how people have like those things where they can sort of work out at their desk a little bit, like you get those things under your desk that you can do shit with I don't really understand how any of it works. I just know people do it, and like sitting on like medicine balls at your desk.
My mum's got one of those.
I find it weird, but the world sort of accepts that, so I could see how someone would just be like, well, I'm going to fucking lift weights in this meeting because the fuck is anyone going to say? Like, can you stop being healthy?
Yeah, exactly. But equally, then, surely that same logic would apply to having breakfast.
See, it should, but it doesn't.
Why is that?
It just doesn't. Like,
fair enough.
Like, it's one of those things, isn't it? You know, there's just certain things that, as a member of society, you sort of know. I mean, you wouldn't understand this, but people would.
Oh, I did something else that happened. I did 2 personal training sessions in a row last week.
What do you mean by in a row?
Sorry, like on 2 like consecutive days.
two
simultaneous days. So it's that Cloverfield paradox. It's getting into my head.
You jumped to timeline B.
Yeah,
and worked out.
On 2. So I had a personal training session on Thursday, and then another one on Friday.
That seems not great.
It was horrible.
Yeah. You're meant to leave like a day's gap, aren't you, between workouts?
Yeah, but like obviously with the whole Canada thing coming up, we were running out of time and we had to get them squeezed in. So but here's the thing, okay? So the first thing, just working out 2 days in a row is horrible.
Yeah.
But the other thing is the social interaction side of it.
Why?
I can do 1 day a week with my personal trainer of pleasantries. Like, we've got our topics that we tick off. The whole, how did you spend last weekend? How are you spending this weekend? Weather.
Yeah, so I'm seeing an issue there in that 2 of those topics you can't do twice.
Exactly. So we covered all of those to the point where in our first session, we not only discussed the weather here, but I was also asked, what's the weather like in Canada? Which is, that's when you really know that they're struggling.
Yeah, she should have saved that one.
Yeah. So
I mean, to be fair, you should have said, when she started saying, like, after she said, well, what did you do last weekend? The moment she started being like, what are you doing this weekend? You should have been like, hold your horses, love. We've got a whole other session tomorrow. Let's save some of this banter for then.
I know. It's just, I find, and Kat's pointed this out to me before, with social interactions, I kind of play them over in my head a lot. And then I'll sort of ask Kat like afterwards, like, oh, how did I do? Like, if she's there.
Yeah, this is where my whole nickname for you being a robot comes from.
Yeah, because I don't get... So, me and Kat went for Chinese on Friday.
Yeah.
And I was telling her, like, one of my favourite social interactions ever happened when you were there at the Chinese thing. And I was telling her about it, and she was like, I don't even remember that happening. And I was like, no, I don't think Ellie would either. But I was really proud of myself because it went so well.
What was it? Just very quickly. I might cut this if it's boring, but...
The 3 of us were there, and me and you were drinking the Jack Daniels and Coke, and we had our little mixer straws, and we were putting them in a glass, and the waitress came over, and she was like, oh, you've done like 6 Jack Daniels and Cokes between you, that's pretty good going. I was like, that's not bad between 3 of us, because Kat was driving, and it was a bit of a joke, blah, blah, blah. We all laughed, and I was really proud of myself. Yeah, I don't think I did it justice playing it back.
I mean, I don't remember it.
That's what I mean, but I like, still think fondly of that. That's not normal.
That is kind of weird.
Yeah, I know. So, yeah, I was like... So, I got to the Friday session, and she comes over, and she's like, how are you today? And I was just honest with her. I was like, don't want to be here. She's like, what? I was like, I hurt from yesterday. I'm achy. I just woke up this morning, and I thought, I don't want to go to the gym. Just wasn't feeling it. And she was like, but you're here now, aren't you? I was like, yeah. She's like, all right, so we'll have a fun session, won't we? I was like, sure.
I'm glad that she's sort of realised you're a toddler at this point.
Oh, yeah. So she knows
You
all
here,
about...
though? We're going to have fun.
Yeah,
aren't we, Liam?
She knows all about Zac Efron. She's made the same joke twice, like, in like 2 separate weeks, and I didn't have the heart to kind of call her out on it.
Well, yeah, that's not called not having the heart. That's just being polite.
Yeah, exactly. I was very polite about it.
Yeah.
Because a couple of times now, we've gone to like a little special training room, and she's made me do these horrible circuit things. And both times, she was like, I'll put some music on. Oh, I don't have any High School Musical, though, sorry.
It's a good one. I like it.
It's a good... Like, the first time, it was good. Second time, I was like, oh, yeah. But I kind of responded with the same thing both times, which was just, why not?
That's a good response.
Yeah, let's put it back on her. But, like, this is what I mean. It's just... I don't find small talk flows naturally.
No, you do struggle with it.
But equally...
Is it just that you're overanalyzing it, though?
Yeah, and I'm not tooting my own horn, but I think if you were to ask her, oh, is it awkward doing small talk? I think she wouldn't say it is, because I kind of mask how awkward I find it. Like, I can keep the conversation going, I'm just really bad at analysing it in my head.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
So, it's probably worse than I think it is. Anyway, 2 sessions in a row, terrible. My legs were still aching yesterday.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, but you know, that all basically stems from the fact that I'm now eating Weetabix every morning with a banana.
Yeah, what a weird segue we did there.
Well, she's told me to have breakfast, because I used to just have a banana, and then, like we've discussed on the podcast before, my very first session, I felt sick like 15 minutes into it.
Yeah.
And then a couple of weeks ago, I made it all the way to the end of the session. We were doing like the cool down stretches, and then I started feeling sick and had to sort of run to the bathroom. But I wasn't sick. I just thought I was going to be. But I spun it. I did like that PR stuff, and I was like, it just goes to show that I put in maximum effort.
No, see, you think that's good. That's bad, Liam.
I don't know, but she asked me what I had for breakfast, and I said a banana, and she was like, you got to eat more than that. So
yeah, so it all fell apart, 'cause you're like, see, I'm putting in maximum effort, and then she's like, what did you eat? You say a banana, and she's like, you didn't put in maximum effort, you're just not eating right.
Yeah, so now I've got to eat 3 Weetabix and a banana, and then also, so that's got to be like 2 hours before the session, and then also like a bounce ball or something right before I go.
It's still it's just too complicated. Fuck it, just don't be healthy.
This is so I've got to go. I've got another 2 sessions this week, one after the other, and tomorrow is the first one, and I've got to go 20 minutes early because we need to talk about nutrition. Apparently.
Oh my god.
Just
don't go.
I don't know how we're going to have a 20-minute conversation about nutrition. She was asking me the other day what I like typically eat in a week. She was like, "Oh, you still having your 3-day chili?" And I haven't had it in a while. And I was trying to remember what I had eaten, and I quickly like listed the things that I knew she'd be impressed with. So I was like, stir fry. She's like, "Oh, I had stir fry last night. That's good." I was like, "Yeah, smart, Liam." And then I ran out, and I was like, "Oh," and then the night before, I had a pie for 4 people. And she was like, "What, by itself?" I was like, "No, with mash and veg." She's like, "What, and you ate all of it?" I was like, "Yeah, I think I've got a problem with portion controls."
Yeah, obviously. You shouldn't have eaten a pie for 4 people to yourself.
But it tastes so good.
That's too much.
In all fairness, Kat cuts off a little tiny bit. So it's more like a pie for 3 people.
I imagine at most Kat's cutting off a portion for 1.
Yeah. So I eat like a 3-person pie with...
And with extras.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I think it's why I don't know.
I see why she wants to talk about nutrition with you. It's just going to be 20 minutes of her going, "Now, Liam, what do you do if you get a 4-person pie?" And you're like, "I eat it?" And she's like, "No, you don't."
She's like, "You look at the box and you see where it says portion for how many people?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she goes, "Right. You see where it says 4?" I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "That means you don't eat all of it. You eat 1/4.
That is enough for 4 people to eat it."
So we're going to do some maths now. How many ones are in 4? But yeah, I've told her, like, when I get back from Canada, the goal is to really double down our efforts on making me look like Zac Efron.
Okay, good.
So I might get really into nutrition and start calorie counting and stuff.
Oh, that's going to be fun.
Have you given any more thought to the whole controversial topic we touched on last episode?
Nope. Well, I've thought about it. I've not made a decision yet.
Yeah, I was saying to Kat, I think, personally, And this is like, ignore the fact that we're recording this for an audience. This is just me talking to you, giving some like friendly advice. Just stop watching documentaries.
No.
You watch a documentary and then...
I haven't even touched This is the thing. I haven't even touched the documentaries yet.
I thought you said that's what gave you the idea.
It was a YouTube video.
Oh, it wasn't even a Oh.
No, it wasn't even like a... No, exactly. This is the thing, Liam. If it meant that much to me from just someone talking on YouTube,
you don't watch
the fuck's going to happen to me if I watch Blackfish?
Well, I don't think Blackfish is all about being vegan. I think it's about...
No, but it's sad about the animal.
Yeah, I think it's like don't go to SeaWorld because they mistreated the whales.
Well, it's not just don't go there.
Well...
You're a bad activist.
I mean, the other thing with documentaries that you have to remember is that they have agendas. So they're going to paint one side.
Yeah, well, okay, well... No, I'm not getting into this on the podcast because I might cut this out anyway.
No, what do you mean?
Well, I was going to say... Right, so, yes, they have a side, right?
Yeah.
But the idea that both sides are right doesn't make sense. So to me, the side of the vegan, like, don't eat the animals because we're slowly fucking up the world, and eating animals is definitely not helping with that because we're cutting down huge amounts of forest to feed animals that are just being eaten and we don't need to.
Yeah.
Right? That argument to me makes sense. So the counter-argument to that, assumedly, is fuck
eat
it,
the animals.
Meat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that, to me, doesn't make sense. So the logic of there's two sides to that story is like, yeah, there are. And one of those sides is, I don't give a shit, I'm going to eat me.
But it probably, and I don't know, I've not watched any of the documentaries or looked into it at all, but it probably is a little bit more complicated than that. Like, well, there's two kind of issues here. The first, to have any impact, and I agree this is not a great argument, but it's a valid one. One person going vegan won't make a huge impact.
Yeah, that is a shit argument.
It is a shit argument.
It's
but equally,
sad that you even brought it into the conversation, frankly.
No, it's a shit argument, but equally it is a valid one.
It's not.
How is it not?
Because if everyone said that about everything, nothing would happen.
Exactly, and a lot of the times, nothing happens.
What are you talking about? We're leaving Europe.
That was a mistake.
Trump got into power.
Another mistake.
Yeah, and that's all from people being like, one thing doesn't make a fucking difference.
Well, people need
to... go fuck yourself.
Well, I'd rather not.
Well, that's a lie, and you know it.
And then the second issue is, if you stop eating animals, there'll be too many animals.
What? No, we breed them.
Yeah. Well, yeah, then you're going to put people out of jobs. Well done.
We're already putting people out of jobs with automation. They're literally, in America, at this moment, having to figure out if they're going to introduce a basic income because they do not have enough jobs for everyone.
Can't they, instead of, like, focusing on cutting down the rainforest to feed the animals, can't they just, like, double their efforts on making, like, lab meat?
People are trying, but then it's just not happening.
Yeah, well, I would happily... I respect the principle of veganism, I just couldn't do it.
Yeah, sure, fine. But that's what I mean, like... Yeah, it's all well and good being like, well, I'd eat lab meat, but if you aren't doing anything, right, then you're not doing anything. Like,
yeah, I'm not going to help the situation.
You can't say, I would eat lab meat, but it's not there, so everything's fine. Like, I know you can, but I can't.
What do you mean?
I can't sit there and be like, well, they haven't done lab meat yet, so I'm just going to carry on.
Yeah, you can.
No, I can't.
But there's right, if you start down this road, there's probably loads of things that you, like, your carbon footprint.
Yeah.
What are you going to start doing to reduce that?
Commute to work every day.
Yeah.
Only drive when necessary.
Yeah. There's got to be more stuff you could be doing. Like, using electricity at night.
Yeah, I don't.
Have candles.
I don't use electricity at night.
It's night time and we're recording a podcast.
It is not night time.
It's 9 o'clock.
Whatever.
In the evening.
Let's move on. No one gives a shit about this debate we're having.
Well, you're the one that wanted to, like, catch up. Are we done now?
Yeah, fuck it. Housekeeping.
Yeah, terrible idea.
No, sorry. It's not housekeeping.
It's not housekeeping. You jumped the gun a bit.